This is North Spark. Today Mike Gator Dunn and Brent Harland introduce first-term airmen to North Spark.
Before the end of the decade, we're going to put a man on the moon, return home safely, and this is going to start the space race, start America's investment into space and space technology, and there's a great partnership between military, between industry, at the time, the commercial sector, between academia, NASA, everybody was on board trying to make this happen. So we have this race to space, and then all of America was behind it, because America had this wake up moment, right? They're like, oh man, we are behind, and we need to move fast. There's a documentary on YouTube. His name is Lee Sedol. Lee Sedol is an international champion. 2016 world champion of a game called Go. Anyone heard of Go? Game? A couple? So Go is a game that's played on a 19 by 19 grid, and you put stones on the grid to kind of occupy space. If you've seen Ovello, really similar to, like, you have these colored stones, and you put them on there and you occupy space around the board. So Go is kind of like chess for China and Japan and Korea. It's a really traditional game, 2,500 years old. And chess was a solid game. We saw chess basically when Deep Blue beat Garry Kasparov in 1997, which was a computer program invented by IBM. Right? And since then, chess engines humans never going to catch up to the best chess engine, because it's a solvable problem if you look ahead far enough. Go, on the other hand, so at every move in the game of Go, there's 10 to 360th power possible move combinations. There's more atoms that are in the universe, or the tiny atoms that we can't count that are in the fingernail. The number of atoms in the universe, there's that many moves in Go, so a computer can't solve it in the traditional sense when we solve chess. In 2016, a company called DeepMind pitted an artificial intelligence engine against Lee Sedol in Match-Go, and DeepMind bested him in 3 out of 4 matches, and it completely shocked him, because he was using artificial intelligence engine, a reinforcement learning engine. It didn't have all the combinations, but it gathered data and then processed it and then spit back out a move. No one really understood how it was done through deep learning and the black box technique, but it beat Lee Sedol. At the time, in China, there were 55 million simultaneous views of that match going on in China. That's about the viewership for the Super Bowl in the United States, right? 55 million people watching that live. So this was China's Sputnik moment. They're like, holy cow, what has the United States done? They have invented this technology that is far superior to anything we've ever seen, and if we don't get on board now, we are going to be behind. And so China started aggressively investing in artificial intelligence, and so became really a world leader, and now they publish more papers on artificial intelligence, do more research about artificial intelligence than any other country in the world. They're heavily invested in that. So those two pictures are a reminder that, hey, we were once shocked into the realization that we needed to invest in science and technology and in the future of innovation. And China is also, by the way, reminded of that today. They know that they need to invest in artificial intelligence, and they have gone full bore at it for the past 6 years, working at that. What does this all have to do with you? It's a great question. Maybe some of you have already seen the tie-in, but we have a history and an Air Force culture and a legacy of innovation, of taking risks, doing things responsibly, doing things smartly, not necessarily just doing what the manual says to do because it's what the manual says to do. We understand the intent behind what that says to do, and then innovating and doing things differently so that we can adapt and overcome to solve the world's biggest problems, so that we can compete with our pacing adversary of China. So that the Secretary of the Air Force has said China is the pacing threat. So what that means is if we can compete with China, then we know we can compete with anyone. We're a strong competitor, and of course we'd like to deter China if we can from being aggressive in Asia. But if deterrence fails, we need to be prepared to fight and win that battle. That's our job as uniformed members of the armed services, right? So we can't get there. We can't get there doing it the same way we've done it for the past 25 years. You guys have been in not very long. You've already seen that there's an AFI for everything. There's a rule for this. There's a way to get this done, and that's great. And a lot of those rules are written in blood, right? Someone either got themselves hurt or killed by not following the TO and dropping something heavy on their head or something, right? A lot of those things are in there for a great reason. But we can't just blindly follow the TO because that's what it says to do. We need to understand when it's smart to take appropriate risk. And the Chief of Staff of the Air Force has asked us we need to stamp up bureaucracy to drive to innovative solutions. So what we're trying to do here at North Spark is to offer you an opportunity to do that. We have rapid prototyping tools available for your use. We have 3D printers, we have CNC machine, we have laser engravers, we have a lot of programming tools if you're working in the digital environment. So if you want to learn how to code in Python, or you already know how to code in Python, or you want to invest in some low-code, no-code skills to help automate the stuff in your work center, come to North Spark, we'll help you out. Just pick up the phone. Our phone number is the 747 is the prefix, right? And it's 747 idea, so it's pretty easy to remember. So if you got an idea, 747 idea, call us up or whatever. We can help you work through how your work center to break through these innovations. If you got a crazy creative way you want to do something, I'm not telling you to not follow the advice, right, or to not do what you know is right to do. But if you see it needs to be changed, let's work on changing it together, right? You see it's dumb, then when I need. You guys know, have you ever seen this yet? When you need access to a share drive, the process you got to go through, right? There's an Air Force form, 2875. You got to fill it out. You got to talk. You got to list your name, all your information, probably your social security number 3 times, and then what you need and why you need access to it. You got to report to your supervisor. Your supervisor's got to sign that, and then send it back to you. Then you send it to a security manager. They have to sign it, and send it back to you, and then you send it to someone else that can actually give you the access. And then 3 days later, you put access to the folder on the share drive that you need. It's not how Google does it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I don't know how they do it, but they don't use the DD form 2875 to get people access to a folder on your drive. You know there's a better way. I know that you know that there's a better way. I know that when it takes you 15 minutes to send your buddy into base, then you know that that's not the way it happens if you show up at the Hilton downtown, right? They pull up the app, yeah, they're good, you're clear to come to the conference, have a nice day, right? You guys know that there's better ways of doing things. It's really easy, though, as you join the Air Force, to get ingrained in the culture and think this is just the way the Air Force does it. And just accepting that, right? Don't accept it. I'm asking you to not accept it, to take the challenge to make things better, work to make things better, to fight through the bureaucracy, because it's not going to get better if we don't change it, right? We got to change it at our level, or it's not going to get changed. So know that you're empowered to make those changes, to speak up, to have great ideas. There's a reason we don't wear uniforms around here, right? You don't know what rank I am, you don't know what rank right is, and we might not tell you, right? Because we firmly believe that the best ideas can come from someone that has no stripes, 1 stripe, 2 stripes, not necessarily from the guy that's wearing a no sleeve on his shoulder or an eagle on his chest, right? We believe that. So we believe in you and your ideas. So honestly, take us up on that offer if you're having, if you need help in your work center, or you've got a great idea but you don't know how to implement it, or you need some tools or some training, right? There's tons of digital training out there. There's tons of great tools that we have here. Take us up on that. Don't be a stranger here. You're welcome here anytime, right? We're working on getting 24/7 access so we can kind of leave the facility open for you to use at your leisure. But until then, when we're here and it's open, you're welcome to be here soon.
Yeah, to add, you don't have to have the solution. If you find a problem, like maybe I know Gary said, hey, if you want to learn to code, we'll help you. Well, if you don't want to learn to code, but you know it can be done, we have developers on our team, really good developers. We've got, I want to say, at least two things across the level, and we've got some things that are coming up pretty high vis, even to where it's getting the vice chief of staff's visibility. You don't have to be the developer. You don't have to. A lot of times you're going to be told, and you probably will by some of your leaders. Don't come to me with a problem unless you have a solution. We're the opposite. Come to us if you see a problem and you know it can be done better. You don't have to have a solution. We'll help you find it. The automatic refueling system I was talking about, that came from an airman out there standing in negative 40-degree wind chill, filling a plane, and said, there's got to be a better way. And we'll go find the resources, the money, the subject matter experts, and put the pieces of the puzzle together for you. So there is our cards are on here on the table. Feel free to take those. There's some stickers. It has all of our contact info. I want to build off of what Gator was saying a little bit, and that's how we started and come up right, and where China's at, and where we're at right now, and give you a little bit of history more recently, right? In 2008, we flew, and this doesn't contribute to our overall current risk-averse culture, but it's a large portion of it. In 2008, there was a nuclear incident where at Mahan Air Force Base, we flew a live nuke over U.S. soil to Barksdale. At that time, everybody got fired in the Air Force. Everybody got held accountable. We put, even the last line of our Airmen's creed is, we will not fail. We put that in there. people got promoted off of making things more stringent to ensure we wouldn't fail. Well, where we're at right now, especially with China's investment in technology and artificial intelligence specifically, we've got to get more risk averse, and we've got to get to where, all right, we mitigated that risk and we failed, but what did we learn from it? We made sure nobody was going to die, nobody's going to get hurt. Well, we took a risk, and maybe that risk didn't work out, or maybe it takes 10 times to learn and make that thing better. Some of my mentors have told me, like, how do you become an expert in something? You fail every possible way that there is to fail and learn from it, and that's how you're going to become that expert. So if you don't take the risk, nothing's going to happen, right? It's going to be the status quo, the same thing over and over. So all those people that we have at our higher echelons right now got promoted through this risk-averse culture, by making regulations more stringent, by not taking risks, by making checklists overly complicated. Where we're at now is we need to start taking mitigated, calculated risks and changing things to make them better. And that's what y'all are going to get to see throughout y'all's career and y'all's generations, and why it's so valuable that as you come in with the fresh mindset. I'm not saying go to your supervisor and be like, no, I'm not doing that. Don't do that. But when you see a better way of doing it, speak up, or say, hey, we could be doing this better. Maybe they're accepting to it, maybe not. But you can always just keep pushing it. As we started out here, we failed. It was 3 of us. I was like the first one full-time kind of. And then there was 3 of us for a few months, and it was just fell. Like, one of us wanted to quit every day, and then eventually we kept going, and it's like win, fell. So what we learned is what it was. So we learned how to do this. We learned how to interact with businesses and bridge the lingo between them and government. So that's kind of where we're at, where we need to go, and what we need out of y'all as new airmen. I do want to share a little bit of it's called the iGenome and the Competing Values Framework. Just a brief, I know we still got a little bit of time. And then we'll do an exercise afterwards. But our team works a lot off of what's called the Competing Values Framework. And what that is these things up here. So they put them in different colors, but the rundown of it is everybody's good at 1 or 2 of these things. You can get good at all, but inherently you'd like to do 2 of the things, and you're going to hate to do the other things, right? So the sage would be the person that's like, maybe there's some conflict on your team. They're the ones that get everybody on the same page, make sure people aren't fighting. Like, all right, then we're all going to collaborate and get together on this. The engineer is the person that's good at like making those processes, procedures, those checklists. Not saying they're a technical engineer, but they're good at process management. They're good at attention to detail. The artist is kind of the opposite of the engineer. They're the one that's like, all right, this rule makes no sense. I hate this, and there's a better way to do it, and I'm just not doing that anymore. Or like, you find that better way. The creative type that's forget the rules. I'm gonna get this thing done anyways. And then the athlete is essentially what that is, like competitive. Like you want to win. Me personally, so I'm a creative, an artist by trade, green, and my second category is athlete. So yeah, I want to do new things and I want to win. I can't get anything done by myself, especially out here, right? So like, this would never happen without the engineer on our team, Jamie. She's out this morning, but she's the one that, she had to deal with all of us saying, forget this, we're going to do this, or we're going to go take off afterwards, or whoever. And then, she'll come back in, make the processes, make sure we're not missing deadlines and staff meetings. Essentially, how it works overall, if we're working a project, you might have your artists come in and meet with business at first. You chalk up what's possible, and maybe it is like, we're going to fly these drones autonomously. And then you bring in your athlete that's going to have to drive that and get some momentum going on it. That's telling you, hey, this is going to take too long. We need to get this. We need to try this first. And then of course you're going to bring in your sage as the engineer. it's probably like, whoa, none of this is ever going to work. We've got to get some structure. And then they let them go back and build it between that collaborative, you know. So where I'm getting at is like, it takes a whole team, and there's some tests out there you can do on the competing values framework. You might know where you fall already, or you might not, because you've never had to work in like a collaborative environment. But inherently, somebody's going to fall in one of these categories. None is more valuable than the other. It all works in a teaming environment, and it doesn't work without the other individuals. So as you progress, even in the Air Force or in your career, keep that in mind. Like, hey, if I'm not good at this, who's good at it? And maybe I need to bring them along with me to offset my deficiency. Anything to add? Or?
No, that's great. So what we're going to do now is just a quick exercise. That's cool. Can we just make stuff up? Okay.
I was going to, you got something. I was going to do the rock, paper, scissors.
That's what I'm going to do too. Team it up?
Yeah, like one-on-one, and then just keep
that. So we're going to do, you find a partner, right? And what it's going to be is it's going to be the North Star rock, paper, scissors competition. So you're going to find a partner. You're going to rock, paper, scissors them, right? And then, so we'll just do it again, right? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay, so I win, right? So just best of one, right? So now I'm the champion. Now, and you guys would do it, right? And then when you win, you're going to find a winner from someone else, and you're going to play that winner, right? Now the catch is that Gaetano? Yeah. What's your first name? Sal's going to come. Now he's going to be my cheerleader, right? So he's going to root for me when I fight against the winner of the best of you two, right? And then, so let's say that I lose, and then. No one ever wins, right? And we both lose. Now we get on Evan's team, and we're cheering for him. And so in the middle, there's going to be 2 people. There's going to be half people probably cheering for each side, right? And see who wins. So that's how we're going to decide the North Star rock, paper, scissors champion for the day. Is that everyone's got it? So the important part is it's got to get loud and rowdy, or we're going to keep doing it until it gets really loud and rowdy. Okay, so that's the rules. It's got to be some like serious cheering. Okay. All right, there. So you're up. You guys, everyone have a partner? What's your name? Julius. Julius is the winner! Pretty sweet swag, alright? Alright, so, you gotta share, we're all rooting. One, yeah, that's right, yeah. So now that's a team award there. So you guys can have a seat if you want. I think one cool thing about the exercise with way I like it is sometimes when you had a great idea, right? You go to that idea, and then it doesn't work. And you're like, damn, I really had my hopes on this is the way we're gonna do it. But then we get on board, right? Someone else has maybe an idea that's a little bit better, and then you can get behind that. So it takes a minute, right? So as you guys, what were some of the emotions when you lost? Was it hard initially to cheer for the other person? You're like, oh, that sucks, right? Like you're like, I didn't like that guy. So sometimes it takes that energy, and then when we get behind it, right? We get behind the idea. There's momentum, and there's things going, and you can give up your own idea and support something else. And then you can pivot, right? So you got to be able to pivot to the new idea, the new thing, the new win that's come along. It's just kind of a fun way to dip it and then shake things up a little bit there too. So just, I think being mindful of that, we're not always on the winning side, right? Debating the argument or the new idea or the concept, but being able to pivot and get behind something else that's working at the time is also measures, right?
Like some of the smaller ones, like there's this awesome escape room coming. There's 3 different escape rooms coming to the base, but we help them. We didn't know. We don't own anything, right? So like we just try to help you make your ideas possible. And like Eric said, maybe it's this AFI makes no sense. We're not saying disobey it, but come to us and maybe we can help you get the AFI changed, or we can get a local policy that says we're just not doing that anymore. I will tell you, the wing commander that you have right now, Colonel Curry, I'm not sure if he's been out at CL yet, but he's one of the best advocates I saw for doing things that make sense. We go to him with these crazy things like autonomous drones. Who's taking that risk to say, yeah, I mean, nobody's flying it, it can just crash into the plane, right? They trust us to mitigate it. We've never got a no yet, and if we do get something back, it's like, here's the barriers, how do I get the yes? So you're in a time where the culture is right. I've never been part of a command team like this. To be honest, this is the best job I've been in for 14 years, the best assignment and job I've ever had in my career. But I want to open it up to questions. If y'all got any, how we can help y'all, or if you want to get involved, things like that, or maybe it's just something random about the Air Force, whatever you want to talk about.
How do you get involved? Like can you just?
Yeah, so there's of course, like, you're going to be coming in and you got your 5 level route, but I'd say like knock that out for sure. But maybe you have some downtime at your work. If you do, just pop out here. Like we're in here from 8 to usually 8 to 4:30 or 5 at least every day. And if you just want to, if you have some downtime and want to come out, that's the easiest way. All the equipment we have, we're setting up a podcast room in the back. We do have some sound equipment here now. Like we said, the printer, the laser grip, that's open anytime to anybody that wants to come out and use it. If you want to get involved in projects, or you have your own project, or maybe you see something, just come out and somebody on the team, there's 12 of us full time now, we'll be able to help you, or at least get started with it.
So a lot of the trainings that we offer too, we do offer periodic trainings. We've had one in a couple months. We've done in the past quite a few Python coding courses, 3D printing class, a Linux class,
Scrum.
We have military Scrum Master, and Warfighter Center design classes. So we've offered quite a few classes here too. Those usually go out on email blasts, and especially the coding classes tend to fill up like almost 24 to 48 hours in advance. So if you get those emails and you want to attend, I encourage you to register, and then even if you're spending your supervisor approval, just go ahead and register for it, and then if the supervisor says, hey, we can't let you go that week because we got X, Y, Z exercise or something, then come back to us and say, hey, I need to register. We'll fill those slots up. So just jump on those opportunities if you're interested. That's a great way to get engaged. You'll be out here we usually try to do it in like 3-day boot camps. And so you come out here like 3 days in a row. You put on a polo shirt or a t-shirt that doesn't have
sweat stains.
Yeah, exactly. And just come hang out with us for a few days. That's a great way to get involved through a training class. If you guys have a training you need that you think is like kind of IT center, or you feel like I don't know, you want to learn about CNC machines, or about additive manufacturing or something like that, you can also make that suggestion to us, and we can see where we can work a class in. And then we also do fairly regular email blasts out to the base. It's a good way to know like what's going on here if you want to engage with some project that's already very close.
And then about every 6 months there'll be a call going out to say if you want to volunteer to work out here full time. When that call comes out, essentially how that works is there'll be an application process, and then we'll conduct interviews and select people to come out here.
So that's just like everybody's commander can't let everybody come out. So we've had a lot of people that are interested in coming out, but they can't. They have a job where they're either 1D or But for a lot of commanders, it's really like a deployment. You can come out here for 4 or 6 months, which is kind of cool. And deploy to Graf Works. Dan, did you know that?
Yeah, I just want to kind of pull the audience real quick. I'm kind of like the crazy oddball squirrely guy with crazy ideas, and I am just on fire this morning. So let me ask you, raise your hand if you might want to do something like this. Just oddball idea. I'll start it off with an easy one. Would you want to come out here for like a poetry competition? Exactly. Okay. What about a rap battle competition? 1, 2, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you could be the hype man. Okay. What about just like life hacks? Learning life hacks about like how to learn stuff, resources, easier than your shirt blasting out the same thing every Tuesday. Air Force hacks. Huh? What else? Dodgeball. No. Lots of stuff to. Okay, keycap making class. Like. Okay, hang on. I got. Okay. Pass that around. Yeah, so it's like this thing on the internet, and I'm sorry, my gimbal ran out of juice, so it's shaky. But you can look them up on Etsy. I'm like an Etsy addict. These people, they 3D print like a little Pikachu or something. They paint it, and then they like put it in rosin. Apparently, it's kind of dangerous, so you got to have all your safety gear. But I mean, it turns out really cool, and I'm sure you could come up with ideas of stuff. You could do real simple ones like 3D print your squadron's, bomb ass logo, like side secret logo on them. You could do a keycap set with just one big logo splashed across all. I mean, crazy stuff. So that's kind of the energy we want to bring to like the Discord or Facebook group or whatever, where you could be the anonymous elephant platypus, like just dropping ideas in there, like, hey, I want to come out and do this.
To Dan's point, this is a great place to come and nerd out, right? If you're just a little bit of a nerdy street, come hang out with us, you'll find some fellow nerds who are into the same thing you're into. So we're hoping to make a space to allow you to unleash your creativity, right? Like, I think a lot of that stuff is traditionally lost on Air Force, and you're not take value for the things that you can do that's either creative or maybe a little bit nerdy, which is fine. There's also plenty of room for still like either working at the thing we help facilitate, as well as the center,
the sports center. Have y'all saw that?
So we help facilitate some of that going in our early days as well. Seen some of the escape rooms and everything. Just got ideas and ways to help them on this and more help too.
I think we've got everything funded except for that refueling project. Like, and we've got a lot of stuff funded. So like, we'll go find the stuff. But that one's actually getting close. I think we got a meeting for it next week. Somebody is looking to pitch it to the 3-star of Air Force Research Laboratory.
Who has a skill that you might be able to teach out here? Like, kind of think like liberal arts and crafts, or even just like guitar lessons, or I mean, who's got skills like talent show? Anything? Nothing? Dodgeball. Who's good at dodgeball? Okay. You play right here. 10 points for the 3D printer. Okay.
Well, any more questions? We'll give the time back to you, I guess. We're pretty close, but it's like 10 minutes early. If y'all want, y'all are welcome to stay and check out anything. We'll stick around nonchalant for questions if anybody has any. But yeah, feel free to check out the spot. We do have like some really cool stuff coming in. Just hasn't yet. Like, we're in this conference table where it looks like a legit conference table, where you push a button and then a ping pong head comes up. We got a bunch of robotics equipment coming in and stuff, so you can build your own, whatever. So
Thanks.
Yeah, feel free to check it out. And then don't be a stranger. This is everybody's space on the base, and feel free to use it at any time. Cool.
This has been a North Spark production. Like and subscribe, eh?